Welcome back, you guys, to the Keys to Success podcast. This is your girl, Tilisa. I got my girl, Deba, in the house. What's going on, Deba?
Hi, how are you doing today? I'm so excited about our show today.
I am too, you guys. I'm excited too because today we have a special guest, and I want to introduce this woman right here. She's amazing. She inspires me in so many ways. Miss Shalece Daniels. Shalece is in Detroit, and she specializes in the Section 8 rentals, you guys. So we're going to be able to ask her some questions because we all want to know, how do we all profit off of Section 8 rentals? But not only that, Shalece is an avid traveler. She actually inspired me to go to Jamaica and live there for months while still conducting business in the States, because that's what this powerhouse of a woman does. So without further ado, I will give the floor to Shalece Daniels. Shalece, what is going on, girl?
Hey, Tilisa, it's been so long since I saw you. Listen, I showed up on her doorstep in Jamaica like, what's up? Show me what's going on here.
She sure did. No, seriously, Shalece did. She pulled up on you, girl. I was like, hey, we're about to go to the beach. We're about to get these massages on the beach. Like, what's up?
So, Deba, it's great to meet you. I am Shalece Daniels. It's in my bio. I say I am a traveler who owns and manages properties to create generational wealth. But traveler first. I quit my job in 2021, and I focused full time on real estate. So I am so excited to be here. I'm sure we'll get more into what I do, answer questions, ask questions, and all that good stuff. But thank you so much for having me, Deba and Tilisa.
You are so
oh my gosh.
Deba,
We are so thrilled to have you, because I'm like, this is my sister friend, all about real estate investing and traveling. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have to tell us, first come first, what made you get started? Like, how did you get started?
Okay, in real estate. So I was 18 years old, and there was this lady in Detroit, and at the time she said, you only need a credit score of 610, I think, and then I'll buy 3 houses in your name and put Section 8 tenants in them. So she had these classes, and you had to come to the landlord's class, and then there was a tenants class, and then on and on and on. And before you know it, I think probably a year and a half later, I had 3 houses and 3 Section 8 tenants. But at that time, I also had loans, because that's the way that she did it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say she gave me at the closing back like $5,000 per house. So I have a house, I have this mortgage, and I got these tenants, and I'm like 19 and a half at the time. And that's what started the real estate bug. But if I had to do it over again, which I have been able to do over and over and over, leveraging that type of money for the Detroit homes is not worth it. But the question was how I got started, and that is how I got started.
Wow, that is beautiful.
18, 19. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine getting started that early. So Shalece, how is the market in Detroit? Well, tell us more about, I know you're writing a book right now. There's so many things. Oh my God. Okay.
So I don't want to paint this picture like it was like this really pearly thing. Oh, she gifted me this. No, like the market crashed. We were over leveraged, one with the mortgages. I didn't realize it. Section 8, I was barely able to make the mortgage payment. So any repairs that needed to be made over that, like I was going into debt. It was really tough for me. And then I figured out, lo and behold, like I can actually buy a house for $12,000 cash. I could buy a house for 10, 12 cash, and then slowly fix it up. And that's what I did with my next 2 houses. Meanwhile, I'm over leveraged, so on and so forth. Okay. Crash happened. I let those houses go. It was a crash and a divorce at the same time. So it was really, really bad. Got out of real estate and just got back into real estate in 2016 or 2017, I think is when I really, really got back into investing. And I learned a lot. during that time, and I have applied each and everything that I learned. So I stuck with Section 8 because I knew that was guaranteed money. That was the way to go. Majority of the houses that I have are Section 8, were Section 8. But in 2020, those that weren't flipped over to Section 8 because of COVID. There was a moratorium, I think it was nationwide, a moratorium on people not needing to pay mortgages or not needing to pay rent. And that, without Section 8, I would have suffered big time. And without having such a cash position in the market, I would have suffered big time, but I didn't because much of my portfolio was Section 8. Thank goodness.
And I want to kind of touch on that because I know that there is some sort of a misconception out there as it pertains to Section 8 tenants. And so Shalece, kind of shed some light on, I mean, you already mentioned one of the benefits of having Section 8 tenants. When everybody else wasn't collecting rent from their tenants, your tenants were still paying, or the government was still paying. So can you kind of shed some light and give other investors or other people who are interested in getting into or taking on Section 8 tenants, what are some of the things that they can expect and what are some of the benefits that we can look forward to?
All right. So a few things. One, like you said, Tilisa, guaranteed money. Now, what you want to be careful of is what is that split between what the tenant has to pay and what the government is going to pay, because there is a tenant portion, and it's fine. Tenants, there's another misconception, and it's that people who receive Section 8 vouchers are lazy or they don't want to work or they're just bad tenants. That is so not true. Yes, you have people that run the gambit in anything that you do. But if you screen properly, you'll get those tenants that you want, desirable tenants. That I have tenants that work for the EMS, that work for Henry Ford Hospital, that work for they are dutifully employed. That it's sad to say about our economy that the wages are maybe not living wages so that they still qualify for Section 8. But some of my tenants are paying 80%, whereas others are paying 0%. So the question that you asked, Tilisa, was the misconception with Section 8. Those are a few. The tenants don't want to work. The government will absolutely pay. You want to be careful of the percentage of what your tenant's percentage is versus what the government's is, and especially with the employment and the employment type. If they have a really good, stable job, you are able to allow a tenant who has a percentage of 70%. Or 50%, because you know that they're going to take care of the home, and you don't know they're going to take care of the home. That's another layer of the screening process. But you know that they're more likely to pay their rent, running the credit. It's okay. Just because they have a government voucher that pays part of their rent, it doesn't mean that you don't treat them just like regular tenants.
Right.
The voucher agreement is for them. It's what the government is doing for them. It has nothing to do with your relationship with them as a landlord. You would treat them just like you would treat any other tenant. They need to be credit worthy. They need to not have any evictions, no felonies, employed, so on and so forth.
Okay. Oh, Deba, do you have any questions for Shalece? Because I know I do, but I'll let you go.
Yes. Okay. So I know you're in Detroit, and I know Section 8 is different states, different scenarios. So Section 8 here in Texas is more based on their voucher, how many bedroom vouchers they have. Mm-hmm. Is that the same in Detroit? Like if someone comes and they have a 3-bedroom voucher, they necessarily are looking for a 3-bedroom, not a 4-bedroom or a 2-bedroom?
I love that question, Deba, because as I've been researching for my book, what I found is it's the same across the HUD, which is federal, the Section 8 public housing agencies, the housing state development authorities, they all fall under HUD. And these vouchers are bedroom driven. So the more rooms, the more money. I have a formula, however, for it doesn't matter what market you're in. You can use my formula. Now you would tweak it to the market that you're in, but in order to get the type of cap rate that I have, that's the same as also. So a cap rate is just how much money did you pay for the property plus any improvements. That whole amount And then you're going to, so let that sit there. Then you're going to add up how much you get for rent per year. You're going to take that and divide the amount of rent that you get per year by the amount that you paid, and that percentage is the cap rate. So if I had to do some quick mental math, which I'm not good at mental math, so I have my calculator phone right here. But let's say my number for Detroit houses right now, because last year was different. My number for Detroit houses is $75,000. The rent here is $1,371. The fair market rent is $1,371 for a 3-bedroom home per month. You multiply that by 12, the amount that you get is $16,000. You divide that 16,452. You divide that by 75,000, which is how much you pay all in, and that's almost a 22% cap rate, 21.9.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Right? Yeah. Now, what I do on a very conservative level, that is a true 21.9% cap rate. But on a conservative level, I take $400 off. I take it off for in case you have a mortgage. It's going to be a very small mortgage on a $75,000 mortgage, repairs, insurance, so on and so forth. So when I take that $1,371 and $400, that gives me $971, right? $971 a month times 12 is $11,652. That's my net operating income, right? So then I take that NOI and I divide that by the 75,000, which is the all-in number, and that still gives me a 15.5% cap rate. Here's the thing: what stock can you consistently invest in that's going to give you a 15% payback?
Yes, that's beautiful.
You let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. I'm so intrigued right now. So you're buying these properties in Detroit for $70,000.
I'm buying them for 50 or 60.
Okay.
And I'm sinking 20, 25, 20 in them to get them ready to be Section 8.
Gotcha. And these are tell me a little bit about the specs of these houses. How many bedrooms, square feet?
So Detroit is known for the 3-bedroom bungalow. 3-bedroom bungalow is somewhere between 900 and 1,200 square feet. Okay. It's brick, 900 to about 1,200 square feet brick. Usually has 1 bathroom. If it has a second, it's somewhere in a basement or maybe a lavatory in the basement. You still are going to get that $1,371. Now, that's more of your base. That's where you start. If you have a 2-car garage, if you have air conditioning, and we're in Michigan, so air conditioning is not necessary or mandatory. If you provide the refrigerator, the cooking range, and the microwave, those all give you points in this system that help you ask for more money, even though the 3-bedroom voucher is $1,371.
Gotcha.
That 3-bedroom voucher, by the way, has gone up for 2023 from $1,371 to $1,511.
Wow.
I know it sounds crazy, right?
Wow.
And you're still getting that house at $75,000 all in. I'm talking after rehab and so on and so forth. So that's why I like your markets, like your Indianapolis, your St. Louis, your Detroit, your Pittsburgh. Those are some markets that are still undervalued, and you can still find houses at those rates with Section 8 paying those fair market rates so that you can have the cap rates, the interest, the return on your money that I'm getting.
Wow.
How are you paying for them?
That was my next question.
I'm like ready to just view.
So, ready. here's what happened with me. Because I was able to flip and or wholesale for a little while, I am heavy cash positioned on a lot of the homes. However, let me be very clear. I have taken the time to build relationships with local banks, and those local banks will give me loans. I also have people that I've taught that get loans through either hard money and or private lending and or banks, their own funding that they may have where they're from, where they live. So loans are not in Detroit, are not easy to come by, but I have built relationships and continue to build relationships so that you can get loans for those homes at the $75,000 mark. Part B, you can go up a very little bit to $100,000 house, cut your cap rate a little bit, and be loan worthy like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really great.
Too. So Shalece, for somebody who wants to start investing in the Detroit market, they don't have a lot of cash, what do you advise them to do?
Start asking for money from the banks. That's the first thing that you want to do. You want to find out, okay, what local bank is there? What bank is lending? What bank is lending to people who are investing in the neighborhoods and the communities and taking some of these blighted properties from blight to flourishing homes and neighborhoods? Who's doing these things? And there are a few community banks that back people that come into the community, investors that come into the community and do that, but you have to have a track record for them. If not, you need to have your own financing. This is not an easy or get rich quick scheme or scam. You have to come strong with a strong background and know what you're doing, because there are too many. These blighted properties, somebody owned and they didn't care about, and they left. They came to Detroit, they got what they wanted, and they booked. So we're very sensitive about who we allow through loans. If you come in your cash position, that's a little different, right? Put your money where your mouth is. You say you're going to do this for the community. Okay, well, let me see. You need to first bring your money. I guess that's what the banks are thinking. I'm not sure, but not easy to be credit worthy for Detroit banks, not even for residents.
Right. So for somebody who doesn't necessarily have the best credit score, then would they be better doing like a hard money loan?
They would. They would be better off, even if let's go a step further and say, not only if you don't have great credit, would you be better doing private lending, hard money, or one of your local banks or credit unions that's willing to support you here? Because Navy Federal Credit Union did support one of the ladies that I helped here, and she was in Memphis, Tennessee. Yes, you're better with having your own funding when you come here. I have a group of investors out in California who also had their own money.
I see. So I'm going to pivot for just a minute, because Shalece, I know that you're writing a book right now, and I want our viewers to hear exactly what you're going to be talking about in the book. What are you teaching? What are some things that you can kind of share with us without giving us too much information?
Okay. So everything that I've learned, I know a little bit about investing in markets like Detroit, because Detroit is not the only market like that. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to have certain pockets of Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. Those markets are very similar to Detroit. Here's the thing. I haven't even named the book. I've toyed around, thrown some names out for the book. Section 8 formula is the best thing that I've come up with, but who knows in the last iteration what it'll be.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell those who own homes and are either short-term or long-term renting how to maximize their energy and their income through Section 8. I'm also going to show them how to pass that inspection the first time. I'm not saying that I have a foolproof way, but I have a damn close way. Am I okay with saying?
You good.
Yeah, you're good.
You ask for forgiveness, right? I have a way that's super duper close to show you that you can first time pass that inspection. I created my own inspection. Now I got my butt kicked over the years creating this list but there's absolutely a formula. There's certain things that they want, and you do it and you're good to go. I'm going to show you how to nurture your relationships with your tenants and also with the partners and also the inspectors, because there's a formula to that. I won't necessarily call it a secret, but there's a code to what the inspectors want to see. They're all the same. They all care about the tenants and the tenants having a safe, secure home to live in, period. And that should be your goal too. That's mine.
Right.
And I'm going to also show, I'm thinking about the chapters. Nurturing the relationships, I think, is the biggest piece, because you got to retain your tenants. I was just talking about that today on one of my stories. Tenant retention is supreme, because the amount of money that it costs for your property to sit there empty, and also for just the normal tenant return is not worth it. So upgrade the kitchen or the bathroom, keep the tenant, call it a day, keep going. Here is another key to investing in markets like Detroit. Unfortunately, labor is cheap. Fortunately for us, those who are investing, unfortunately for those who might be in this market, labor is cheap. I know that to rehab a house in Detroit, to put 15K in there, it's going to look like you just spent 80 with father and sons, right?
Wow.
That's the type of labor that we have in this market. So I'm spilling the beans on all that. The rehabs, the how to nurture the tenant, how to screen the tenant, my lease, I'm giving it away. I'm giving away my rehab checklist. I'm giving away my inspection checklist.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot.
Wow.
And when will the book be ready?
Well, I had an internal date of October 25th. I am on the finishing stages right now of polishing up my chapters, but I don't think it's going to be edited by October 25th. So I don't know. Look, it's hot. You guys are getting the information just like me. I wish I had it all together, but I don't. I'm just a normal, regular old person.
Well, I will say that even though we don't have a release date for the book yet, you guys make sure you go follow Shalece Daniels on Facebook and on Instagram. That way, when the book does drop, you can be one of the first to pick up a copy. So I just want to just throw that in there right quick.
Listen, shalecedaniels.com. You can put your email in. I have a link for you to put your email in, and I am dripping my infographics. So a lot of the things that I talked about here today, you'll get in your email if you sign up.
Okay. I love that. And I did see your story. You said it's cheaper to keep her. And Deb, I know that you can relate to that. It's sometimes just cheaper to just keep the tenant. And like Shalece was saying, find ways to keep them there by making them happy. So Shalece, what are some of the things that you do in order to keep your tenants more long-term?
Okay. So one of the very first things is ask them what they want. Everybody wants something different. You will be so surprised. So one tenant told me, listen, I need new cabinets. Okay, fine. New cabinets. I was going to have to do that anyway if you moved out. Easy peasy. Another tenant told me she wanted some planters and some flowers and some walkway lights, $25 on Amazon. You got it. On top of that, I'm going to give you a new tenant move-in kit. I know I gave it to you a few years ago. We're going to give you some flashlights, some door bangers. We're going to get you together. And it's fine. It's a part of nurturing that relationship.
Yeah. Wow.
Those are some really good tips. Okay, so I'm dying to hear what is in your new tenant kit. What is in that kit?
So screwdrivers, we have this video. I'll tell you about the screening process. This is something that's also in the book and on an infographic that I have ready. We have this new tenant. It's called Whose Responsibility Is It quiz, right? So before we approve you to live in one of our houses, you need to score 80% on the Whose Responsibility Is It quiz.
I need that.
Right.
Listen, you got to sign up you got to sign up so you can get it. Whose responsibility is it? So what we tell them is, if it's a doorknob that's loose, take this screwdriver that's in this new tenant package and tighten it up. The glazed bathtubs, one of the main things that we get on the Section 8 deficiency annual inspections, are glazed bathtub. It's because they're using very abrasive cleansers. I was taught to use Ajax or Comet as a kid, so I'm sure they were taught to use the same thing. Not anymore. Use some good old-fashioned dishwashing liquid or some soft scrub, and we give that to them, the soft scrub and the sponge. We give them the door. We put them behind the door. There's this little white plate that you can get from the dollar store. We make sure that they have a few of those, and we put them behind each of the doors and paint them the same color that the house is. But, things happen. We also give them a flashlights, batteries, because of the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors. Very, very important. And the video tells them everything that they need to do. I give them some Scotch tape because it doesn't matter. We have these little Venetian blinds that we put in all the homes.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, the dog, and we don't allow dogs, but I may get to that later. I'll tell you. The guests, they, instead of raising the blinds up with one hand, they're gonna peek through them.
Yep.
It looks bad when you ride past the house and you see the blinds broken and caved in here and there. One little piece of Scotch tape. So we give them one little piece of Scotch tape so they can tape that up, but it's also in the video, and it's something that they have to pass 80% on the whose responsibility is it anyway quiz, right? We also, I give them baking soda and peroxide and some vinegar. Here's why. You want to unclog a sink. You want to keep your drains running smoothly. And another call that we get is, I have mold growing in my bathroom. I need you to take care of it. Well, when we get the picture, I see that it's just caulk that hasn't properly been cared for. If you take half and half bleach and water, or if you squirt some peroxide on it, it cleans itself right up. And we make sure we explain that to them in the video before they take the whose responsibility is it anyway quiz. And those are the types of things that we give them.
Wow. If you are brand new to being a landlord and you are about to get your tenant, I need y'all to listen up. Like, these are some gems that are going to change the livelihood of your tenants calling you for frivolous maintenance requests that you're like, you can handle this on your own.
Girl.
I paid my daughter to put together the video. I told her everything that I needed. She has so much fun putting together this video. She sent it to me. We put it on YouTube, sent it out to all the tenants. Then put them in a raffle to win $300 for everybody that got 80% on the quiz.
Wow.
And then gave the tenant $300. That's just, those are other things that we do. 4 times a year, we run raffles. We give $300, $200, $100 just for simple things.
Yes.
Taking care
and
of
that's giving them knowledge.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Giving them knowledge and then giving them the tools to keep the property maintenance up. And, you know, I just feel like that just gives you another level of just feeling proud of where you live.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, oh my goodness, Shalece, you just laced us with so much game, girl. I just got done cleaning my bathtub with Ajax this morning.
Right.
Dog scrub or some old-fashioned dishwashing liquid with a rag. Get rid of that comment because it tears up the glaze. Unless you have a vinyl tub, which we have the old tub. Unless you have a new tub, jacuzzi, like the comment might be okay, or magic eraser. But if you have an old tub that's been glazed, honey, get rid of that.
Wow. Oh my goodness, Shalece, you are literally giving us so much game right now. Can we, Bobby, can we ask you just a few more questions?
Go ahead. I'm here.
Okay, so let's just talk about, because we all know that, this real estate game is not easy, as you said earlier. And sometimes we have losses, but I like to say that our losses are really become our lessons. And so what is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned that seemed like a loss at the time?
Ooh, squatters. Squatters. In Detroit, it's starting to get cold. And I know you guys are down south, right? Or,
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you meant this or if you were talking about as an entrepreneur. I'm not sure.
Just in general, whatever.
Squatters, baby. Let me tell you. I was told by my attorney, who it's more advantageous for him, right? If we go through the court system to get a squatter out. The Detroit police, God, I'm like, whoo, Black Lives Matter and my Detroit police matters. I'm all everybody. So here's the deal. Squatters do not have rights in Michigan. They don't have them in Detroit. I don't know about the rest of Michigan, but squatters ain't got no rights in Detroit, because let me tell you, I used to take them through the court system, the squatters, but as soon as you send them an eviction notice, guess what? You legitimize them. You legitimize their residency. So you call the police if you realize that someone is living in your home that shouldn't be living there, and then the police will ask them to wrap it up and get out.
Wow. So when you went the first time this happened, you did go through the court system, and what happened? What?
The first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, it took 9 months to get them out.
Wow.
And then I learned, I went to first, and here's the other thing, partner with your police stations, wherever you have a house. The first thing you need to do is go introduce yourself to the police and let them know that you're partnering. What resources do they have, so on and so forth, wherever you are. I don't care where you're investing.
Wow. Oh my
That's
goodness.
a good tip. That's a good
Yeah.
tip, because they can give you tools and give you resources of different opportunities that they do have.
Yeah. And then when you do call them, they're going to be on your side. Like you just said, you're cool with with the Detroit police.
Hey, I'm good. We're good.
It's all about nurturing the relationships, not just the tenant relationships, nurturing the community relationships.
You got it. Yeah,
wow.
You got to care. If you care where you invest, you need to care. I care. I'm raised, educated, loved, lived in my city. I care about Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Deba, did you want to ask Shalece?
So my biggest question is, let's talk about how you reach out to the city, how you reach out to the police officers.
Okay.
What is that normal conversation should be? We have new landlords that are listening, and they're like, well, do I just call 911? Who do I contact?
So, all right, if you're a remote investor, you're going to need a representative to reach out for you, because it's highly likely that calling is not really going to work. I go and I'm in your face. Hey, I'm Shalece. I own a house over here at 1234 Main Street. I need you guys to look out for it. And they say, okay, they write it down and they make sure that they put it on their route to drive by. Also, when I call, hey, I'm Shalece again. I'm the one who was at the community event that did blah, blah, blah. I'm the lady with the red lips and a blonde hair, right? It's like stuff that you don't forget. Make yourself memorable. Hey, I'm Shalece, Sergeant so-and-so. Oh yeah, Shalece. Okay. Yeah. What do you need? I found out that blank, blank, blank was happening. I need a resource for domestic violence. I need a resource for my, one of my families. They need a turkey for Thanksgiving. I partnered with nonprofits for my veterans that we house. I find all types of creative ways to take care of the people that I love, that take care of me. I take care of them. Well, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. It's not one way.
That's beautiful. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. That's great information.
And it's so simple though, but I mean, it just goes back to that. Get in somebody's face, introduce yourself, let them know who you are. I think sometimes we make it so difficult, and it's not. It's simple.
Absolutely.
Wow. So Shalece, when we talk about like overcoming your fears, because I know a lot of people are fearful to begin investing because of rumors that they've heard or horror stories that they've heard. So what was one of your greatest fears when you started, and how did you overcome that?
Ooh, Tilisa, why are you coming with these questions that I mean, whoa, I have to think about that. First of all, it was so long ago that I'm like, what was I afraid of?
And I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I love it. Bring it. I love challenging questions, because what it does is it helps your viewers. It helps the people that I'm all right with it. Okay, Tilisa, one of the things that I was afraid of was like how much money it's going to cost, how much hidden cost. That's what it was like. What's a hidden cost? Like, and how much is it going to cost for me to dig up the backyard of a neighborhood? Is it 20,000 or is it 3,000? Like, those are the types of things that I discuss in my book, because you call a regular plumber like I keep throwing out father and sons because the name rings in my head. We're father and sons. We'll do it all. I don't know if you have that, but it keeps ringing in my head. But you get referrals from your investor real estate agent, which I know a few. You get referrals from people that, when you're remote, you got to build those relationships over the phone, through Google, through what people are telling you, and you get referrals so that you can get reputable master licensed plumbers. That's what's obviously costing me the most money, so that you can work on your properties without calling in the big name companies. That was one of my biggest fears. And yes, it has come true that I've had to pay quite a bit of money for old infrastructure with plumbing that nobody would really know. But over time, I found out how to decrease those costs. And Detroit has a partnership with American Water Resources. It's an insurance company, and instead of you spending that anywhere between $4,000 and $20,000 to dig up the back of the home, so you can run new pipes to the water city tap, which is one of the biggest expenses you will ever have, bigger than a roof, bigger than whatever, you name it. You can partner with American Water Resources Insurance Company, and for $7.98 a month, you insure your property from a $20,000 expense.
Wow, that's great information.
Yeah. My other fear, I'm going to talk about the fear that many of your landlords may have here with going into your C, D neighborhoods and serving the population, the underserved population, the one that really needs us. It is safety. Yeah. Someone emailed me or Facebook messaged me and said, how do I pick a neighborhood that's not a war zone, drug-ridden, crime-ridden neighborhood? And I think this gentleman was from New York. I asked where was he from, because that is the picture that CNN or whoever came in and they did a documentary on us so many years ago. That's the picture that they paint. So how do I, from one of you who don't want to be in a war zone, drug zone neighborhood, you got to have someone that knows the neighborhoods. I don't know that we have war zones here per se. There are areas that I won't go to at night, but it's not as bad as people think. Perhaps if you're worried about war zone, drug zone, you should come visit, even as just a tourist. And like be taken around to see. My husband loves to take people around, see the different neighborhoods, all of them. He doesn't care, you know. but perhaps spend a little bit of time before you invest, so that you'll know where your dollars are going and what you're doing for the community and what the community is doing for you. It might be valuable, so that you can see what others may have painted as war zone may not be exactly what you think it is.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's the really great information, because a lot of people do feel like, and unfortunately with those C and D neighborhoods, that's where you get a lot of your cash flow. As you start going to like the A and B, you're really hustling for appreciation compared to the cash flow. So I love it.
Sorry, Deba. In Detroit, even in the A and B neighborhoods, it ain't gonna appreciate that much. We're in Detroit. In the outer area, we're all appreciating the same. Just because you buy a house in Bloomfield Township and you buy one in Detroit, is it going to appreciate a little faster? Sure, but we all going to be at that 6%, which is still higher than appreciation in other areas.
Yes,
year over year is like your average appreciation. We're all still going to be running neck to neck.
That's true. Right. That's true. So you might as well cash flow and get after the money monthly. That's what I would be thinking. Like,
and
let me get all my coins.
And help serve the population that are most in need.
Yeah. Yes. And those are the ones that are going to appreciate and love the fact that you are caring and giving extra to give them and giving them different resources in the community. Yes. I love it.
I do too. And I just had a question from earlier, because I am completely clueless about how Section 8 works and the percentage at which the government comes in. So when you were talking earlier, you were talking about somebody may be paying 80% versus someone else might be paying, nothing. How are you able to determine, which one of these tenants is going to basically, are you able to choose, I only want tenants who are fully 100% covered by the government, or how does that work?
So you can, but you do it by way of rent affordability, right? If I'm talking to a regular tenant, Tina, let's call her Tina the tenant, my rent is $1,500. Well, Tina needs to make 3 times $1,500 to buy my house, to rent my house. So if my Section 8 tenant is, let's just say Alonzo, if Alonzo is coming and Alonzo's portion of the 1,500 is 750. Alonzo needs to make 3 times the 750 in order to afford my home. You know, so the rent is 1,500. Alonzo is responsible for 750. He needs to make at least, you know, my mental math ain't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can money, but yeah,
yes. 2,100. Yep.
2,100. He needs to make it 2,100 is 2,250.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I have a question for you.
That's very important.
Yeah. And so I have a random question. Thinking of limiting beliefs, talk to us about what limiting beliefs that you had to overcome to now be at a place where you're making money every month, but then you on that plane and you are out and traveling and living the dream.
It's not possible for me. Who am I to think that I can do that? I don't deserve that. Who am I? That's not my life. That's her life. Like, they grew up different than me. They didn't grow up in the C and D neighborhoods of Detroit like I did. Right. They're different. I'm different. I don't deserve. So the way that I overcame, which I think is even more important than actually knowing my limiting belief, the way that I overcame that limiting belief was by just writing down what I want. And I can't remember if it came from The Secret or The Power or, you know, the Life Coach School or Abraham Hicks. I don't remember where I got that from, but it was like, hey, your life is a catalog. Write down exactly what you want and believe it. So I was like, okay, I want this. But here's the funny thing. You can only want what you've seen or have had access to. Be it media, social media, it doesn't matter. Like, I have to have seen that, like, a normal person would actually be able to.
I want you to be transparent, keep it real.
A normal ass person
from the east side of Detroit would be able to pick up everything, having kids and a husband. Tilisa, you did it too. Having kids and a husband and go live in the tropics as long as she damn well pleases. I had to so I baby stepped my way there. I'm like, well, I'm a vacation for 4 weeks. Oh, well, I'm going to extend it to 30 days. Well, I'm going to rent this house for 6 months. I like that land over there. So in fact, I'm going to buy that land. And I like this land too. I'm going to buy that. And in fact, I'm going to start building on that land. Like, it was my tolerance level had to keep increasing and increasing in order to figure out this. I can do this. I don't know why I couldn't go from not being able to do that, not deserving to, I'm going to go buy 2 pieces of land in Costa Rica, build on one, make income off. You know what I mean? I don't know why but it didn't for me. And for many people, it may not.
Ooh, man. And I, you guys, and what Shalece is saying when she says that you have to see it first. When Shalece and I met, I was still working my 9 to 5. Shalece remembers we actually met in Danielle Leslie. I don't know if you guys know Danielle Leslie, but she teaches the course from scratch. And we were in the Facebook group, and Shalece posts, I'm looking to form an accountability group. Does anybody want to be in this accountability group? And I'm like, I need to be in an accountability group. And so we started having like these weekly meetings on Wednesdays on Teams. And I was there in my office working as director of accounting, shutting my door between 11 and 12 so I could have my group accountability meeting. But Shalece would be on there and she'd be in Costa Rica. I'm like,
but
I'm like, you're just in Costa Rica. The ocean is like just a couple of feet from where you are, and I'm sitting here in this school district looking crazy.
I know. So let me tell you, every time we would come to the accountability call, while I might be smelling like salt water, Tilisa will be like, I did this and I did this, and look at my website. I did that in 2 hours last night, and I did this. I was like, damn, how is she so productive? How does this happen? This ocean be calling me, y'all. This right. Tilisa had this. I was like, one day we WhatsApped each other, video message. She was like, listen, you just do it. So this is how you do your website. And this, I was just like, damn, where does she get this energy? What are you taking? What pill does she have? What is she doing? Because like from week to week, it was leaps and bounds. Like Tilisa, I was just like, shit, she's carrying this whole damn group.
Please. Oh my
so happy to have her though, because she made me get my shit together. I'm like, okay, you know what? By the time I'm gonna have this and this and this. Yeah.
Oh my, but you know what? That's so funny how we can really just learn from each other and feed off of each other, because I promise you, it was not too long after seeing Shalece in Costa Rica living her best life that I decided it's time for me to go to Jamaica. Like I just can't take it anymore. I just got to stay for a couple months. And so, you know, I think that's why it's so important to have people in your circle, in your inner circle, who have different skill sets and different strengths and just different experiences than you, because then you can look at your sister and say, damn, if Shalece did that, I know I can do that. Damn, if Tilisa did that, I know I can do that. If Deba did that, I know I can do that. And so having yourself surrounded by the people who are doing the things, I mean, this is what it looks like right here, you guys. I mean,
and that's exposure. Like, think about the exposure Shalece just talked about. You have to be able to see it to know to write it down, you know? So in order to see it, you got to be exposed to people that think differently, that may look differently, that are willing to go and push you to the next level. And I mean, this is right now in this group of three of us, this is like a great mastermind. I'm learning so much of so many things that I can pull from this. Like, just do it. Like, why not? Why not you?
I think I don't know what happened that made me just say go, like do it. It was this guy on the beach. I was like, yeah, but I can't do what y'all are doing. When I was in Costa Rica, I was like, I can't do it. He was like, why not? I was like, well, I don't know. He was like, why not? Meanwhile, I'm sitting at my conservative ass desk in my conservative ass shirt with my conservative ass chair. One day I'm gonna show you this chair. It's like got the grandfather buttons down. It don't even swivel, right? I'm sitting and I'm like, this is not normal. Like, you know, I was the hawk. I broke out like, I gotta get out of here. I was like, let's go. I'm doing it. I flew home on January. I went to Costa Rica, I think, on December 6th. I flew home on January 7th. And I think folks were scaling the side of the White House. I said, let me get my ass out of here. January 9th, I can fly back to Costa Rica and an Airbnb booked for 30 days. I said, no, I won't. Y'all can have that crazy shit. I will not I choose not to participate in the middle of this. I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. I'm at exit. Where do I exit?
Where is the nearest exit? I promise you, Shalece, when the day we got back from Jamaica, we're driving and we passing the freeway and there's all these Trump supporters on top of the freeway screaming, F Biden, da-da-da. And I'm just like, oh, we're back in America. Great.
Yeah.
Back in America.
Real.
Welcome home. Texas. Welcome home.
Wow. And you know, in Jamaica, I mean, everybody Black. So you don't even like race and discrimination and all that.
You don't think about it.
You don't think about it. You just, it's not. I mean, they got their issues. Don't get me wrong.
This ain't my podcast, but how freeing was that for you, Tilisa?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. You have no idea. My kids have never experienced that before. You know, just not having to talk about race and discrimination. And there was just no conversation about it. It was just so light. I was able to actually focus my mind on something other than what's going on here in America and how we're being treated on a day-to-day. But one thing that I can say though is that although I do want to go back, being here, seeing my people oppressed, seeing my people still not creating generational wealth, I have an assignment here. I have an assignment here, but home is going to be Jamaica. That's going to be my home base, but I will continue to do what I need to do here in order to bring my people and elevate them so that they can go to Jamaica or Africa or Costa Rica or wherever they like. You feel me?
Yes. Yeah. That
So
was a word, Tilisa.
it's praying. So you guys, I know that we've been on this for, oh my God, almost an hour. But I just want to just give the people one more thing. Shalece, if there's something that you can tell people who are trying to get into this business, into entrepreneurship, into real estate investing, what is something that you can give them that can give them hope and give them the kind of push to get started that you wish that somebody would have given you back when you first started?
Okay. To start. Oh, so eat the frog first. Like, just do that shit. First thing in the morning, the first thing you do before you like do the work thing, like, and answer that email because your boss is mad at you or somebody misunderstood something. So before you say like, per my last email, because that's the juicy stuff that like gets you judged up. Like, I know Sabrina did not just send me another email. We already know. No, Sabrina can wait. What you have to do is for your future self, like, just do the first thing. I'm reading a book called, and I don't think I put this on my story and I should have, The Next 5 Moves, Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet something. Patrick, his name is hyphenated. And this guy has so much energy. He kind of reminds me of Tony Robbins a little bit, blah, 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 blah. But you gotta do like one small thing. Then that one small thing is done. You looking around like, well, what's the next thing? You know, like whether it be a website, create a Facebook group, talk about, like, write down what it is that you want. You got a passion. It's something. And responding to Sabrina's dumbass email ain't it. So right. you gotta do the first thing. And you got to support her. If don't nobody else support you, your mama will. So call her. Okay. Support her. Get your ride or die and do that one thing, then do the next thing, like every day, one little thing. And it could be like researching what email platform you're going to use. The next day, you might say, hey, I'm going to create this Gmail account. The following day, you might say, hey, I'm going to reach out to Sandy, who we talked about making jewelry before, and find out what type of jewelry she wants made. The next day, you're going to do you just one thing.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is so true, you guys. Literally just one thing. I think that over this last 3 weeks, I started off in my journal writing down, I need to create my my lead magnet, you know, just a small little something that's going to draw people into what I have to offer. That was 3 weeks ago. To now, I'm talking to my person who's helping me automate everything. And we're talking about automation. It's like, if I go back 3 weeks ago and look at my journal, every single day I did something small to where now I'm almost completely automated and people are going to be able to just click a button and it's going to just do everything it needs to do. Deba, you're already there. But
so
it's
wait, we need to talk because I have a lady I was going to get with her in March. She is from Detroit. She no longer lives here. But we need to definitely talk because I need your resource there, please.
Girl, you already know I got you.
Yes. Like, we need to get on another mastermind. This is a great mastermind of just iron sharpens iron. Oh my gosh. This is great.
It is. Well, I just want to say, Shalece, thank you so much for joining the podcast. And I have to say, with such short notice, you are really just so inspiring and you're just amazing to listen to. I'm so inspired by your story and I know that you're about to kill it. I'm just excited to see where you're going to be at in like the next year or so, because
Thank you. Well, I'm going to tell y'all then, since you're excited, I'm going to let you know. So here's the thing. Listen, I'm writing this book because it was a challenge by Rachel Rogers. I read We Should All Be Millionaires. And she said,
I love that book.
$10,000 in 10 days. Do you remember that challenge in that book?
Yes.
And I said, shit, what do I have that I can make $10,000 in 10 days? That's not going to take a lot of energy. And I was like, Shalece, you know, Section 8 like the back of your hand. Write that shit down and get you some money. So I started writing and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is going to take a little longer because people ask me whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm going to do this 10,000 in 10 days. But what I did was I signed up for a life coaching school because I do want to be a life coach. I know that, I've known that, and I've been scared to pull the trigger, because I'm like, well, where's my credibility? Why am I? So what I did was I took Rachel Rogers' challenge for 10,010 days. And I'm actually going to take that money that I make and pay for my certification for my life coach school. But it's 18.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And that's what I'm going to be doing. In a year from now, I'm going to have my ass in somebody's sand, and I'm going to be coaching somebody the same damn thing, because I am not special or unique.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
This is so good. This is so good. Y'all, look out. Look out. Shalece Daniels, Deba Douglas, Tilisa Stubbs. Y'all better look out, because we coming.
We coming, and we going to bring y'all with us.
Right.
Listen, there's room. There is so much room, because there's an abundance. There's an abundance.
Yes.
This has been such an amazing podcast. Like I said, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions for Shalece, she gave you guys her email, shalecedaniels.com. Is that correct?
That's it. If you want to email me, it's contact@shalecedaniels.com. But go get on the email list. It's in there, shalecedaniels.com. Put your email in. Shalece, SHALECE, Daniels, like Jack Daniels. You know what it is, .com.
And you know what? When we do get this episode up and loaded, I'm going to see if I can just embed that link in there so people can go ahead and click on it. That way you guys can reach out. But we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Keys to Success, our real estate investing journey. I hope that you guys were able to learn something today. And as always, we love you, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.